In the shadows of a picturesque small-town clinic, a compassionate nurse stumbles upon horrifying truths. Patients vanish without a trace, files disappear, and whispers of human experimentation fill the halls. What begins as curiosity spirals into a fight for survival when she discovers the clinic's chilling purpose and becomes its next target. Holly Reed thought she'd found peace in Willow Pines. After a messy divorce and years of living in the city, she craved the quiet simplicity of small-town life. The Willow Pines Medical Center seemed ideal, a modest clinic nestled in the heart of the town where she could focus on helping people and leave her past behind. Dr. Marcus Bain, the clinic's charismatic director, was beloved by the townsfolk. His calm demeanor and philanthropic work earned him respect, and Holly felt lucky to work under someone so revered. But the cracks began to show. It started with subtle things: patient files going missing, strange late-night deliveries, and cryptic conversations between staff that ended abruptly when Holly entered the room. Then came the whispers. Patients who came in for routine checkups and never returned home. One evening, while tidying up the nurse's station, Holly noticed an entry in the patient log. A 10-year-old boy named Lucas had been admitted for a minor infection. His name wasn't in the discharge records. Concerned, Holly checked with the receptionist the next day, but Lucas's file had vanished. When she asked Dr. Bain, he smiled. His parents transferred him to a hospital in the city, routine protocol. But Holly couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. The parents had called the clinic multiple times the day before, asking about their son's status. Why would they suddenly transfer him without saying goodbye? Determined to find answers, Holly began paying closer attention to the clinic's operations. One night, while covering a late shift, she noticed a delivery truck pulling up to the rear entrance. Two men, clad in black uniforms, unloaded heavy crates marked hazardous medical waste. Holly followed them at a distance, sneaking into the dimly lit basement once they were gone. There she found a sight that turned her stomach. Steel tables covered in blood-stained sheets, surgical tools scattered as if abandoned mid-procedure, and a large industrial freezer humming ominously in the corner. Inside the freezer were bags of blood, tissue samples, and something far worse. Organs labeled with names, dates, and chillingly precise details of how they were harvested. Holly stumbled back, bile rising in her throat. She clutched her phone, snapping pictures of the evidence, but her shaking hands fumbled, and the sound of a metal tray clattering to the floor echoed through the basement. Footsteps descended the stairs. Dr. Bain appeared, flanked by two of the men from the truck. His calm demeanor was gone, replaced by a cold, menacing smile. "Curiosity is a dangerous thing, Holly," he said, stepping closer. Holly tried to run, but one of the men grabbed her arm, wrenching her phone away. Dr. Bain glanced at the screen and sighed. "I had high hopes for you, but now you've forced my hand." Holly was dragged deeper into the basement, past a locked steel door she had never noticed before. Inside, the true horror of the clinic revealed itself. Rows of patients, young, old, and vulnerable, were strapped to hospital beds, unconscious but alive. Machines beeped softly as fluids were pumped into their veins, keeping them alive just long enough to harvest their organs. Dr. Bain gestured to the room like a proud curator. "You see, this town doesn't just thrive on goodwill. We provide a service, a vital one. The rich get their second chances, and the poor, well, they finally serve a purpose." Holly's screams were muffled as one of the men injected her with a sedative. Darkness enveloped her, and she awoke strapped to one of the beds, a fluorescent light flickering above her. Desperation fueled Holly's next move. She managed to loosen the straps binding her wrists and quietly freed herself. The other patients were too weak or unconscious to respond, but she vowed to come back for them. Slipping through the shadows, she found her way to the security office, where a wall of monitors displayed every corner of the clinic. One screen showed Dr. Bain in his office, speaking to a masked buyer through a video call. "We'll have the package ready by morning," he said. Holly downloaded the security footage onto a flash drive and set off the fire alarm, plunging the clinic into chaos. Staff scrambled to evacuate patients, giving Holly the cover she needed to escape. Holly ran to the nearest police station, but when she presented the footage, the officers exchanged uneasy glances. The chief, a close friend of Dr. Bain, smiled thinly. "We'll look into it," he said, before confiscating the flash drive. Realizing the corruption extended beyond the clinic, Holly turned to a journalist she knew from her city days. Emily Vargas, an investigative reporter, was skeptical at first, but quickly understood the gravity of the situation when Holly showed her the hidden photos on her cloud backup. Together, they worked to publish the story anonymously. Within days, it gained national attention. Federal agents raided the clinic, uncovering the full extent of its operations. Dr. Bain and his associates were arrested, but many patients had already succumbed to the horrors inflicted on them. Holly became a national hero, but struggled to shake the trauma of what she had witnessed. She left Willow Pines, unable to face the townspeople who had unknowingly supported the clinic for years. Holly's story is a chilling reminder that evil often hides in plain sight. What would you have done in her position? Would you have the courage to expose the truth knowing the risk?